session for today. Okay, can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Because I have another microphone hooked up. I want to make sure I'm connected all
Oh,
right. Okay.
got it.
Okay. So I think everything is good. So I have three of you here, and I think yeah we can begin for now.
All
And
right.
I've been looking at our last project and looking at your work, and well, you've all done a pretty good job, so you know what you're doing, and one of you asked me about submitting format, and I'll tell you like what kind of format uh, to turn in on our next project. Okay, and okay, so I want to switch the screen to my computer so you all can see. Okay. 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 This is from our last project. We're working with this character Kumamo. Okay. As for if you if you did everything like accordingly, you'll know how to draw this character by using. Last time we talked about our selection tool, our direct selection tool, and our pen tool to give the character a curve, and our shape builder tool. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of advanced uh, technique with using our shape builder tool today. Okay, so you can like know what to do. Okay, so this is what we did last week and this week, and for our lessons, like I didn't really tell you like what kind of format you have to turn in. So of course we're doing we all have Illustrator, so you can turn in your .ai file, and if you want me to see your published file, you could go to our file, and if you see because I think one of you mailed me and asked for a file format, you could go to export, and hey, wait a minute, nothing's moving. Okay, export. Okay, can you see my screen? Is it moving or is it stuck?
It's moving.
It's moving. Okay. Oh, okay. It's
Yeah,
not. I don't think it's
everything
showing
is
the pop-up
moving.
menu. Okay, it's not showing the pop-up menu, so I have to show them whole screen. Just a minute.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay, I have to show everything. Okay, it's okay. Okay, now you can see my whole screen. Okay, now you can see the pop-up menu because I just showed you know, just the UI for the Illustrator. Okay, if you go to export, there are a couple of options, but we could just use export for screens. And another window will pop up. And of course, you can see over here it says Artboard One. You can name it anything you want, maybe project PO1 as our project one. You could click if you want to show the whole artboard. The artboard means the workspace we're working on, which is like when we open, we selected I think A4. Oh, and of course you could change you could resize your artboard. Okay, and when you click on this artboard tool, you can see there's a name for the artboard, right? Well, you could change it. Well, I'll show this later on. Well, of course, artboard, it pops up. You could like name it right there. But if you export it and change it right over here, it'll change with your artboard. If I want to change this to 001, okay, it'll change to 001 right there, okay. And if I want to, like, there's a couple of format I could change. Like, I could export PNG or JPEG or PDF or SVG. Okay. Okay. You'll probably wonder what's SVG. SVG is a format. It's also a vector format. Okay. It sometimes could be used in if you're using other programs such as Dreamweaver or some 3D programs such as like, as for me, I like to use ZBrush. Okay, if I import a SVG file, I could actually do a 3D logo. Okay, if I can first make it out in vector format 2D in Illustrator, I export it out in SVG, and then import it into, for example, ZBrush, and then I could give it give it some depth so it'll look 3D, and then maybe use it in animation or even 3D print it. Sometimes it's very useful. Like sometimes I like for example, if I'm maybe designing a sword or armor of some sorts, or a pottery of some sorts in 3D. And I like some designs, some patterns, some designs on the surface. I could probably design my design in Illustrator and then export it in SVG, and then have it maybe into my 3D program and do the rest. Okay, so that's what SVG is for. So as for now, we'll just leave it PNG and then export the artboard to wherever I want it to be. For example, maybe I want it here. Okay. So that's how you could give me maybe PNG or you could give me both PNG and AI, okay, .ai. So I'll know what you're doing, okay, as we progress along. Okay, today I'm going to show you. So that's all about export. Okay, of course there are other export options like export for web. You could like reduce the volume of file size of your content. But as for now, we'll just use export for screens. That's good enough. Okay. And okay, so for now, I'm going to show you guys some simple techniques using our shape builder tool. So we'll leave our Kumamon aside and show you some simple techniques. Okay. Last week we talked about our pen tool. So there's another curvature tool. Okay, it's just like our pen tool. Okay, the difference is if we use our pen tool, okay, maybe we click and then you see this green line as we drag along. We click on our second area, we click once, and then it gives it another anchor point, and then maybe a third, a fourth, and then if we go to our first anchor point, a small circle will pop up at the lower right corner. If we click it, and then it will be a full shape. Okay. If we want to add any anchor points, we just click on the side of the as for here is a green line. Okay, so we can probably move it or delete our anchor point. And if we want to move it, we use our direct selection tool. Okay, my mouse is gone. Okay, my mouse is there. Okay, because my mouse, actually I'm controlling two computers with a single mouse. I'm using this Logitech Master 3, which it has a program. If I move to the corner of my screen, it pops to my other computer. So sometimes does that. So okay, so this is all we did last week. Okay, and then here on this corner, you can see this little round icon, which you could pull and gives it a round shape. Okay, all this we learned last week. And this is just to refresh your memories, okay? Or we could click and pull to give it a lever and make it round, like that, right? This is all last week. And then over here, this week we're going to look at this curvature tool. It's actually just like the pen tool. If I click it, okay, now if I want to give it a shape, I could just, okay, click it once, and then click it twice, and then, but as you pull, I didn't push any other buttons. It'll try to simulate the roundness of the angle. Okay, if I want another point here, I click it. It'll try to simulate the angle accordingly. Okay, so it's pretty convenient. It's actually well, it's a old tool, but a newer tool than the pen tool. So it's depends on what you prefer. It does the same thing. So if you're used to the pen tool, okay, stick with it. If you prefer this curvature tool, it'll work. Okay, after you click on the last anchor point, actually you could, if you move your curvature tool to any of the points, you can move the point accordingly. And the other path, it'll try to simulate the curve accordingly. Okay? But remember last time, if we want to give it a sharp edge, what do we do? What did we do the last time? We probably, okay, right there. Okay, if I want a sharp point, I probably like I just click to our next destination on our anchor point. For or if you want to like have this like have it curved, you probably use this this anchor point tool to like give it a lever and try to like try to make it round. Like, but sometimes like if you pull on the wrong side, it'll have something like this. That means it's sort of like a mirror. It's like it's at the wrong direction. Sometimes it does that. Okay. Anyways, but for our selection, our curvature tool. Okay. If I want a sharp edge, I click. It'll go like round as you go along. But if I want this edge, the next edge, the next point to be an edge, I'll just click twice. Okay, it'll be a sharp edge. So if I go back to any of the points, and then I click it twice, it'll automatically become an edge. Okay, so for this one, double click, it'll be an edge. So you can make a square-like object. And if you go back to the direct selection tool, you could also like modify it so it'll give a round corner, or you could like if there's a handle, you could just control the handle to give it the shape you want. This is to go into details, okay, of this particular item you want to draw. Okay, so there's a trick I want to show you, for, which I'll let you practice a little bit for today. This is useful when you're designing logos. Okay, so because a lot of times when we're using Illustrator, we'll probably design a logo or icon or things of like images sort of like icons, something like that. Okay, so we'll first go to our Eclipse tool. I'll first probably with my Shift key pressed, I'll first like pull out a circle. Okay, but I don't want to fill it yet. I want just the outline. And then remember last week, if I go to our toolbar, our menu over here, and then you see this fill and our stroke. I just want the stroke, and then see the arrow on the upper right edge over here. There's a swap fill and stroke, or just Shift X. Actually, it'll switch. Okay. So by that, I made an outline of a circle, and then what do I want to do now? I want to copy this, which is Control C or Edit, Copy, right there, and I want this to be paste in front. Control F. Okay, actually it's a duplicate. Okay, I want this. I'm pushing the Shift key, so it'll go up like that. I'll pull up. I wanted to move it up, and okay, I guess I want another circle, something like that. Okay, I want to move it maybe up over here, something like that. And then I want to click Shift key. Okay. And oh well, this will probably work. Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay, so sometimes you have like complicated. If I want to design a probably a curve of some sorts, maybe like a tail or some sorts, I could like have like complex circles such as this, and then I could use the our shape builder tool. Okay, of course I have to like select everything, and then maybe have a color, a random color first. Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe I'll just have I have to click on the shape builder tool first, and then pick a color. Okay, after that, okay, if I want to make a trail or something, a designing of a trail or something, I could just, I want this part, I want this part, and then I want this part. Okay, so, something like that. Okay, but not yet. Maybe I don't want, maybe I'll do a cut of some sorts. Okay. Okay, something popped up over here. I don't want that. Okay, I'll just make a line of some sorts like that. Okay, I'll go to our shape builder tool. I'll go back over here. Maybe I'll use probably, I want this one, and this one. Okay. Okay, now it merges, and remember last time we click Alt to delete. Okay, I don't want these. Okay, I don't want this. I don't want this. Okay, so it's not really round. So use our direct selection tool and try to round this like that. Okay. So you could actually like use multiple shapes to make a usable, like a round, uh, sleek shape by using multiple circles, sort of like that. Like you could use like uh, different shapes to do the cutout that you need. Okay, of course this is using the our shape builder tool. I'm going to teach you another method today. Okay, so if I have this put on the side, okay, this is something we don't need. I'm going to do maybe something just like our previous shape. Okay, I'm gonna maybe have something like this. Okay. Okay. There are two circles here, and maybe I want a shape such as, okay, similar to this. Maybe let's make it sort of just like it. Okay, there's a cut over here. Maybe I'll use a rectangular shape tool such as this. Won't be exactly the same. I want to save time. Okay. Okay, you see there are three shapes over here. Okay. Now you could go to your there's a panel called Path. Okay. So you can, if you can't locate it on your properties, you probably go to Windows and search for Pathfinder. I'm sorry, Pathfinder. Okay, and this will pop up. Okay, Pathfinder. This is very useful. It's actually how you make the shape on the left, our previous shape. Before the shape builder tool was invented, we used the Pathfinder tool, the Pathfinder palette, and use some of the functions within the Pathfinder. Okay, remember there are now like three shapes, so you have to decide what to pick. Okay, if I want to cut this inner circle from the outer circle, okay, let me change the color so you'll probably know what we're doing. Okay, I don't want to show the stroke. I just want to show the fill color. So okay. Okay, I'll just switch to another color over here, maybe a green color. Yeah, that will do. Okay. So remember, there are two circles on this thing we're designing over here. Okay. So I want to select first these two. Well, I'll select all three. Okay, and then we'll try maybe each function. Okay. First, here's the shape mode. Okay, if I click on the one on the very left, what will happen? They'll all blend into one shape. Okay, all the anchor points within within all the shapes are all gone. They all turn into one particular shape. Okay, so Control Z to go back, to undo. Okay, okay, let's try this second one. Okay, meanest front. Okay, let's click that. Okay, this is probably what we need. So I cut out the ones in the front, and leave, and I want to leave the shape at the very back. Okay. Okay, but you'll ask, okay, what if I want the green one to be at the very back? What do I do? Okay, because if you look in the layer palette, okay, they're all in the same layer. And then, but this is actually the green one is in front, the red one is at the very back. And then what if I want the green one to be at the very back? Okay, so click on the shape that you desire to move at the back or front, and then maybe you want to right click, and you can see an option which says arrange. Okay, arrange will say bring to front, bring forward, or send back, send backward, or send to back. Okay, send to front is to bring the item to the very front. Okay, which okay, if I want to, I'll use the red one.
Can
Yes.
I ask something? If is it easier to use a mouse or like a drawing tablet?
Okay. As for now, I'll prefer using the mouse. For all these for the pen tools, I prefer using the mouse because you because imagine it's okay, if horizontal it's a your x coordinate, and then your horizontal is your y coordinate. Well, of course we don't have a z coordinate because it's 2D. It's actually easier to click and drag whatever. It's actually more precise to click and drag to get the simple shapes if you use a mouse. Okay, if okay now, okay, I'll give you an example when to use the pen, the tablet. Okay, now I'm using my tablet. Okay, I'm holding my the pen for my tablet. Okay, now I'm going to switch to my tablet for now. Okay, okay, click on the. Okay, now, well, you could use the tablet to do this. You actually, it can do the same thing, but I prefer like if we use the brush tool, it'll be easier if we use the our tablet. Okay, for our brush tool, either this one on top or the one at the bottom. Okay. So if you want to do some illustration, use it like a hand-drawn illustration, I prefer you use the pen. But if you're designing a shape, as like a logo or a icon or a mirror image or a symbol of some sorts, it'll be more precise if you use a mouse, because a pen sometimes when you're holding a pen it's not so stable. You'll probably like shiver or you'll probably shake or something like that. It's harder to like to pull and bend a shape using your tablet. So I recommend, of course you can use both, but I recommend that if you're designing, if you're starting out designing a shape, a mouse will be easier. But as we go along, because we'll be doing like more complex projects as we go along, and then you'll be using a tablet. But as for now, just simple shapes. We right now I'm just like for maybe a first part of our lessons will be doing simple shapes, so a mouse will do. Okay, because of the stability. Okay. Okay. Now for the shape. Okay, the red shape. If I want it to be in front, I could go. There are two options. Okay, to bring forward or bring to front. If I click bring to front, it'll pop to be at the very front. Okay, but sometimes I don't want it to be at the very front. I want it to be just above the orange shape, but under the green shape. Okay, so what do I do here? Okay, I could just arrange and then bring forward. But I want you to memorize, at least memorize these two. The control, I think it's the colon. You have to memorize the icon, I guess it's called the colon, right? I'm not so sure, okay? Just remember the symbol, okay? Okay, you see, I click the command, it'll bring the object forward, but not to the very front, okay? So if I click to if I send it backward, okay, I'll just move one step, okay? Same with the green one. If I move, okay, arrange backward, it'll go, okay, under the orange, but before the red. Okay, I want to bring it forward. So this has nothing to do with like how many layers is in your layer palette. But as you can see, okay, I want to make things simple, so I'll create a new layer, and then, okay, I want to move this to my new layer. What do I do? There are a couple of ways. Of course, I could cut it, and then here click to the new layer, layer 3, and edit, maybe paste in front. That would be at the same coordinate. Okay, so it'll be, okay, here, layer 3, okay? But there's a quicker way. I just thought this up as I was going along, okay? I select the object. You see this green dot, a green square on the very right over here? That means these objects, some objects are selected, and then because they have a green outline, so it popped up green over here on the right, a green square. So if I click on the green, yes,
I accidentally press something, and all the options on the right side, like the toolbar on the right side, disappear. How do I bring it back?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
The toolbar
The toolbar
on the right side
on the right
disappeared.
side, oh,
Yeah, like the properties, layers, and
properties
stuff.
layers, they're all disappeared.
Yeah. How do I bring it back?
Okay, if they all disappeared, just go back to the switch workspace, and then try switching it to another workspace, and then switching it back again to see if it comes back. If not, just reset it. There's a reset button. It'll probably just go back to default. You could try that. Or if you're working with two screens, are you working with two screens?
Yes.
Oh, it's probably at the other screen. You can take a look. Sometimes, like you're switching between screens, it'll pop sometimes Illustrator does that. Some some palette, if it's like it's not included in the if it's like a floating palette, such as, like if I pull this out, it's a floating palette. Sometimes it turns out into another screen. Okay, so you have to really search for it. But if you can't find it, I'll suggest you just switch to another workspace, and and then switch back again. See if it pops back in again. If it does not, then just reset it. Okay. Okay. Hold on a minute. I have a call. I guess from the school. So give me a second. Play. Okay. That's nothing. Okay. Oh, we continue. Okay. So you could try switching different workspaces to give it a shot. Okay. Okay. So I continue.
Yep, it worked.
Okay. It worked. Okay, that's good for you. Okay, let's go on. Okay. Okay. Back to our layers. Okay. If I didn't click anything on your on any items on the layer, you'll see that nothing pops up. You can see on the upper right corner. If I select anything, okay, there's a color dot will show up. Okay, but you'll say, okay, I was in layer one, and then okay, these stuff, this first shape is at layer one. Okay, it's also green. How is that? Because that remember last week we talked about selecting colors. All of a sudden, maybe like every time you create a new layer, it actually it randomly gives it a color. Sometimes uh, it'll give the same color. So if it does that, if it confuses you, just gives it a different color. Okay, maybe magenta or something like that. Okay, so now you see on the layer 3, I'll give it a magenta color. If I click on any item on the layer 3, it'll show it's on layer 3 because of the magenta outline. Okay, so if I click on the shape on the left, it'll turn to be, the outline will turn to be green. That means it's on the green layer, which is layer 1. So this is a magenta color, so this is layer 3. You could like assign any color to your layers. So you can, because there's like there are layers, well, there are forward and backward issues on different items. You'll probably mess up with layers. Like you'll be mixed up with layers. If I have this like on top of this shape over here, sometimes, and then you want to click maybe on the shape at the back, you'll probably or you want this shape to be under the orange. Sometimes you may make a decision you want this shape to be under the orange, but you are not able to do that because it's on a different layer. It's actually on a lower layer. You can't do so. If you want this shape under the orange shape, it has to be on the same layer. Okay, so so that's sometimes we have this kind of issue, and sometimes you may misselect something. Okay, sometimes if the object is too complicated, okay, like some items it's at the back, which is on the under layer, which is layer 1 probably, and then this shape is at, all these 3 shapes are at the upper layer, which is layer 3. But sometimes you want to pull and drag to select all three of these items. I click and drag, but I accidentally selected the item that I don't want to select, which is the one on the green one on layer 1. Okay, so what do I do then? See this layer 1 over here. You click on this blank square over here. If you click it, there's a lock. Okay, so now if it's locked, I click and select. Okay, you'll only be able to select the items which is on which is not locked. Okay. Okay, so you can leave that alone. Okay. So so now you get to know the like the back and forward between each shapes. And there's another thing. If I select all the, if I don't select anything at all, okay? So there's this arrow on layer 3. if I click that, what will happen? Okay, okay. There's a sort of like a drop down menu. You can see there's this rectangular ellipse. It'll give details of all the shapes within that layer. Okay, if I click it once again, it'll pop up back again, and it'll make things simpler. It's just a list of uh, what is included in that layer. And there's one more thing. You could just like if I want to just select one item in 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 this layer. Sometimes we do we don't want some if we have like a designing, and then this AI file, it's handed out to maybe a printer or somebody else has to do the rest of the design. You'll probably meet problems like such as this. Like you don't want people to touch certain things, certain element, in certain layers, something like that. Okay, there's some situations which will involve like you don't want people to touch something. Okay, because you will not be handling the finished file. So you could go to layers and then have the item listed out and lock certain item. Okay, so now the orange one, I, I, I give this shape a lock. Okay, so now if I want to move like the stuff in layer 3, I could like select, pull and select. Okay, you can see the dot. Okay, this lighted up, and then the red one lighted up. Okay, but the orange one didn't light up because it's not selected. Now I can move the items that's not locked. Okay, and then sometimes you want to keep your design untouched, so you have to go to your but if you like click on the arrow, it'll hide everything, but actually there's a lock on certain item. So sometimes you'll bump into a problem like this. You'll say, okay, Paul, teacher, I can't move something. Okay, that's because you have to check within your layer palette. Like you have to click if there's certain items that's locked. Okay, because probably you didn't make the file, somebody else did the file, and they don't want you to touch something. Okay, so if you're not able to move something, please check your layer palette to see if that item is locked. And remember last time we did our Kumamon, right? Which is this character over here. And this character is on layer 1. And remember all the effort we went through, like we made many circles, and then the mouth, the eyes, the cheeks, everything, the red cheeks, everything. There are actually many parts involved in this character. So if I, which is on layer 1, and then if I click on the arrow, you can see there are many items, right? These are all the shapes that's within this this character. You can see all the shapes that were made out. So you could tell how many parts are involved just by checking the list. Of course, the first one, because it's also in layer 1, the first one is actually this shape right here. So it'll show everything within that layer. Okay, so you'll get to know like how this layer palette is used, because sometimes when we're involved in complex designs, complex drawings using our tablet, and things will be complicated. So we have to search for that particular shape. Sometimes you have to like really dive deep inside the layer palette to find the shape. Okay, and then if I can move anything, that means either the shape, the layer is locked, or certain shape is locked. So be careful when you're like if you want to move something and then it's not moving, it's probably that it's locked. Okay. Okay, let's go back to our layer 3 over here, and I've talked about like moving items on different layers, right? Like I moved this like this 3 items used to be in layer 1, and then I cut and paste it to a new layer, which is layer 3. Okay, there's another way to move this 3 items much more easier. There's an easier method. Okay, and if I want to move all these 3 items back to layer 1, what do I do? Okay, first I unclick the lock on layer 1, and I want to maybe move. Okay, I don't know, just the red and the green one. I want to leave the orange one on layer 3. I could do that, but what do I do? I want to cut it and then paste again. I don't want to go through all that effort again. What I can do is go over here. If I have like our items that I want to move selected, and then you can see that there's this magenta square that light up on the right corner. I could just click that and then pull it lower to your desired layer, okay, and then release it. Okay, now it'll turn in green, and then you can see the orange is on top. The orange shape is on top because it's on a higher layer, on the top layer, because so it's forced to be on top. Now if I click on the green item, if I want to move, arrange, bring to front. Bring to front is to bring it to the very front. I'm not able to bring it in front of the orange shape because it's on a different layer. If you look closely, on layer 3 is a higher layer. That's why the orange is on top. Okay, and then now the red and the green is on a lower layer. Okay, so this is a method of moving items. But when you move it back to maybe layer 3, it'll be on top of everything else that's on layer 3. So if I want to I move it back to layer 3, but I want it back off the orange shape. Have to I didn't release it yet because I didn't like unclick it yet. I have it still selected. Okay, I right click my mouse and then arrange and send to back. And there's one more thing of using the mouse. It's to be able to use the right key, right click, because when you're using the pen, the right click, it's on the it's actually on the, if you look on my webcam, it's on the side of the pen. And then sometimes it's like, depending on what you arrange, like sometimes there's like a, well, depending on the brand and depending on your setup, like sometimes it's a right click and on the bigger button, and then some, well, this really depends on your setup. And sometimes when you're clicking the right button, you'll probably shake your pen, and then you'll probably move the anchor point. So it's not so stable when you're dealing with simple shapes. So because of the right click button issue, sometimes when you're still dealing with simple shapes, a mouse, I prefer a better choice than using the Wacom tablet. And for another example, because I use my tablet mostly on my. As for now, I'm doing some projects using my 3D software ZBrush, and I could use my tablet to do like some some carvings and then some like sculpture, right? And then sometimes the right button, like you accidentally touch it and then it'll mess up your artwork. So I have another pen that I actually removed all the buttons on the on my pen. So it's just a rubber. So it's just the front, the pointy front, which gives it you can like draw the stroke, or the back. You can set up to for me the back button, it's actually not an eraser. It's the right button for my other project. So it all depends on what you're familiar with. But for now, we're doing simple stuff, so the mouse is pretty good. So now, we were talking about the Pathfinder, right? So we want so you're familiar with different shapes, the back and the back and front of different shapes, and then I also like the difference between the back and front of the shape on the same layer, or the the difference between layer and difference between the forward and backward on the same layer. Okay. Now, okay, we can like try each of these out. Okay, the first one we did, it's to give it to combine to a same shape. The second one, okay, to cut all the ones in front to leave the one at the back. So this is the shape we're probably looking for, but we'll try the others out. Okay, this will probably be the orange one. Okay. This is to cut everything else out and then leave a certain part, like the one in front and then the one in the part in the middle. And then this one is to leave the one in the, like all the parts that are conjoined together. The last one was to delete all of these other ones and then leave the one in the very middle, this part over here. And then this one is to cut everything else and then leave the one in the, okay. You really have to give it a try. Sometimes it's not what I expected, but it's just give it a try and find out what each of these can do. The one that I most use are these two. The one on the very left, on the shape modes and the pathfinders. Okay, especially this one on the left. It says divide. Okay, what this does is if I click this, okay, you'll say, okay, nothing happened. Okay, because everything, it's actually cut, but it's in a group. Okay, I have to tell you about group. Okay, first of all, okay, now it's one. I can move this as one object. Okay, actually I have to like right click and then ungroup to show. Okay, it's actually in different parts. Okay, if I use divide. Okay, but I have to tell you something about group. Okay, now all the items are separated, like the red one, the orange one, and the green one. Okay, because I have to tell you about Pathfinder, I have to tell you about groups, the knowledge of group. Grouping is easy. Okay, it's actually like if you have like multiple items, and then you wanna, sometimes you have like you want all three of these to be used as one item. Okay, so if I click select all three of these, okay, all three of these are selected, but as you can tell, they are, Okay, first, oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'll just have it in the same layer. Okay, all three of these items. Okay, they're in the same layer. Okay, and then, of course, if I click and drag, I selected all three. I can move all three of these. Okay, but what if I want to copy all three these items and then I paste, but I want to like move maybe move this three items separately. I have to like click again and try to select all three of these again. Maybe I will like miss out on the green, and then I just move the red and the orange one, and I left the green out. I have to, okay, I have to undo again, and I have to try to select all three again. It's troublesome. Okay, so the easiest way is to, okay, select all three of these. Okay, and then right click, and there's a selection that says group, okay, or Control G. Okay, it's better if you memorize this because this is important. Okay, just group. Okay, once it's grouped, first you'll see nothing happen. Okay, but if I unclick it and then I click it again, you'll see it'll select all of these three items at once. Okay, it's actually now you can consider it as a single item. Okay, I could just maybe I could like scale it. Okay, scale it accordingly. Okay, and then maybe copy it again. Okay, select. Okay, copy or Control C, and then Control V to paste. It'll paste all three items as one item. Okay, so it's easier to if you want to make stuff like a pattern maybe. Okay, like you see on the brand maybe LV, something like that. You see there are different symbols and there's sort of like a pattern, sort of a design. You'll need to use group. Okay, and then I could also ungroup. If I select one of these, okay, I click on my right key and your group will become ungroup. Okay, once you click ungroup and then click on a blank spot and then click on the item again, you'll see it's separated. Okay, and they don't even have to touch each other. If I select all three of these, okay, I could click and drag, or I just click on the item and then push select. I'm not select, shift. Push shift, hold shift, and then you could select multiple items and then right click group or just Control G. Okay, that would be simpler. Shift, Control G. Okay. So you can see the outer the outline will suddenly pop to contain all these three shapes. Okay, now if I ungroup, okay, if I select three of these, okay, and then Control G, okay, now it'll show just this outline will be this outline stands for all the items within this group. Okay, so that's group. Okay, so and there's one more thing. If I can make group within a group. Oh, so what is the concept of that? So if okay, there are three similar items. If I like select all these, okay, and then I Control G or just right click group, okay, and then so all three items will be in the group. Okay, so if I Control C and Control V again, it will paste all three of these items. Okay, there are multiple items. So then I could also like like click and then drag and then select both of these groups and then group them again. Maybe I'll like scale it down a little bit. Okay, move it on the left, and then I want to Control C, Control V again. So this is a quick way to multiply your items, right? Then if you want to see all six of these are using the same group. Okay. Okay. Now it's 3:18 after 3. We'll rest for 10 minutes. We'll have a 10-minute rest, and then come back at 28. Okay. Have a short break. Record this, okay? You'll not be able to do that if you use the selection tool. It just select the whole item. So if you want to manipulate, remember direct selection tool, you could just click on certain item and then manipulate it. Okay. Or if you're on the selection tool, okay, there's another trick. Okay, if I click on the group, if I click twice, okay, everything would like be in sort of like a white color, whitish color. That means you're manipulating some item in the group. So there's actually a like if you see over here, it says on the upper left corner over here, it says layer 3, it says group, okay? Remember all these items are also in groups. If I want to double click again or go farther to another inner group, okay, I can just maybe move this item over here, and then I can just double click again, and then it'll say another group, because remember there are groups within the group. This is what I did. So I could just, okay, move all these three, and then maybe go back, and then see these three are in one group. Maybe go back to its previous group, and then go back to layer 3, or just maybe if I click to the green one, or just click back to layer 3. Okay, now it's in its one particular group. Okay, so you could actually, like, if you use the selection tool, you could double click and go in, double click to go in again, double click to go in again, if you're using if your items are in groups. Okay, see on the layer palette, see the stuff popping up. So this can tell what you're manipulating, which item. So this is this is pretty convenient. It's actually this started out like I think the first CC version, or I don't know, CS one of the version. This is a newer function. You could like go into groups, something like that. Okay, so it's actually so that's pretty much for groups, grouping stuff, and manipulating groups, and and if okay, there's one more thing. If I want to put okay an item, for example, the mouth of this kumamo. Okay, if I want to cut it and maybe go to this group and then go to the group within this group and then paste it right there, move it maybe over here, and then go back. Just click on the blank spot, or go go back to your containing layer, or just double click on the blank slot. You'll be out in no time. Okay, so the item will be within the group. So you can see you want to paste on which layer. Okay, that's grouping. Or if you want to ungroup, okay, ungroup, it'll go back, the first ungroup will split into the previous two groups, and then you could just ungroup again to like split it again. Now the mouth of the shape, you can like move it around. Okay, so that's groups, group and ungroup. So it's pretty convenient tool to work with. Okay, and the pathfinders. Okay, so I was talking about pathfinders. Okay, let's for the fun of it, let's just try the rest out. Okay. Okay, I was talking about the first one. Okay, the divide. That's why I was into groups. Okay, is that too much for you people to memorize? The layers, the groups. I try to keep things simple, but because of our because of the holiday, and then the first week, we actually our first week is the second week of school, so I have to like speed things up a little bit. Okay, and okay, if we select all three of these items and then click on the first divide, okay, it'll automatically turn into a group. So if I click on the right key and ungroup it, it'll actually it'll split into parts, multiple parts, depending on the cross sections. Okay, so I'll undo it to make it a three items again, and then let's try the second one. Okay, the second one, trim. What does that do? Okay, actually, the anchor points, the shape within each item will disappear. Will be eaten up. Okay, so it will be three cut up shapes, and then the ones within the shape are gone. Okay, one more. Okay, see, it's still there. Okay, and let's try the third one. The third one is the merge. Okay, the merge doesn't seem to do. Sometimes it has a similar function. You just have to give it a try. Okay, this will probably lose the one on the lose the side on the left. I think. Okay, okay, within this, the cross section within the green one will leave, and then the other will be cut out. So all these you can give it a try and then to see what you want. Okay, these leaves the line, the outer line, and then all the fields will be out. But actually, these are okay. These are lines, are strokes. These leaves the stroke of the object, but cut out the fields. And the last one, I never use the ones after maybe the second one. I only use the first one, maybe the second one. And on top, maybe I just use the one on the left, the unite shape. The rest I don't really use for my personal projects. So depending on your the way you use this stuff, okay? Okay, so that's all for our our stuff about grouping, and then Pathfinder, and shape builder, and layers. So you have like infos about like these tools. Well, these tools, if you know these tools, and then today we learned something about curvature tools. So all these tools that you learn during our session, you'll be able to design and then draw complex items. Okay, so this week, what we do, we'll do a much more complex item. Okay, first I want to place a. Okay, I want to make this into a template. Okay, this week we want to try to draw this character. Okay, so one thing is you have to like determine which shape goes first, which shape goes underneath, like which is the backest shape and which is the frontest shape, and then you could use. You could all be in the same layer, or if it's too complicated, you could be in different layers, depending on your judgment. Okay, if it's me, I'll take a look at this character. Okay, I'll say maybe the body part is maybe the arm, the hand, both hands are the first thing you want to draw. So I want to have my curvature tool out. I want to maybe click on the arm, maybe. Okay, double click to give it a straight line. If you need the if you want it to be a straight line, and then double click to give it a straight line. Double click, okay, it'll be straight. But I want to see the outline, so I switch and try to. So I don't want to see the fill, so I click the fill out. Now, okay, probably something like that. Okay, and if the second item will probably be the other arm, and then double click to give it a straight line, and then move maybe over here. Okay, see, the curvature tool will probably try to simulate the curvedness, and then, but this line over here I want it straight. Maybe I want it in a little bit, maybe just to the ending point. Double click. Okay, that's not what we want. Okay, maybe I want to curve this line a little bit more. Maybe I have to add another point, because it's a little bit round on the upper left arm. Okay, maybe move this dot a little bit. Okay, but as you can tell, the hand, the white circle, it's actually under the arm. So maybe the ellipse tool again. Maybe I want to Shift Alt because I want to find the center point of the circle and then pull. This is probably where I'll leave it. Maybe use my arrow keys to adjust it. Okay, and then another. I find the middle part, the middle point, and then Shift Alt to pull and to find the top and bottom first, and then to adjust it using your arrow keys. Right now you have the arm, the arms, and what about the color? Okay, first of all, it's a bluish character. We have here a eyedropper tool. If we click that, we could like suck any color that we want and give it its color. Okay, maybe okay if I want red, blue, something like that. But the blue is actually the wrong blue. Okay, so if I have this thing undo again to our previous. Okay, so if I want this character to have the right blue, what do I do? Okay, there's a way. If I want this template to not be a template, okay, it'll switch back to be a to ordinary. Maybe this is a PNG. Okay, I want this PNG to be in another layer. Okay, maybe layer 3 on the one on top. Okay, this PNG I want to put it aside, and then go back to layer 1 and double click to switch it back to a template again, so I can trace it. Okay, now that I have the PNG on a side, but I have the right color for it. So now I'll just, you have to select on the item first, okay, and then use the eyedropper tool. Okay, so now you know a new tool, and then suck on the your source, the blue. It'll try to simulate the exact coding, the color coding of the color. So it'll be the same blue. And if you click on the field, okay, because I grabbed this character right off the internet, so it'll probably be in RGB. Okay, so R it's red, and then G is green, and then blue. B is blue. Okay, so the numbers for R, numbers for G, and number for B is listed right there. Okay, and then there's a code. There's actually a color code, and then you could like if you're working with other software later on, if you want to maybe you work on Photoshop, and then sometimes like when we export a file, okay, and then you open it up with another software, maybe the color will be different. You could try to see if the color coding is the same, okay, and the color mode is the same. Now as for now, this color mode is in RGB, but we don't worry about that yet. Okay, we just want the color. Okay. Okay, now we have the color, but I also want the outline. Okay, last week we just worked on the shape. This week we also want the outline. Okay, so what do we do here? We could just switch on the menu bar to the stroke, and or just go to our color palette. Or if you don't have the color palette, you can see your color palette. You can see it on your properties. It'll also be there. Okay, your stroke will probably be crossed out. And if I click it and I can select a color, maybe black as a stroke. And actually there's a thin black line around our shape. And then I'll probably give it a stroke of a 3 point. Probably will do, just like the character. But there's one thing, because we have a closed object, so we have all the lines, all the outlines. But if you look closely on our character, we actually we don't have an outline on the arms. How are we supposed to do that? Okay. Sometimes when we're designing, we don't want your items to be closed. Okay. I'll explain this as I'll give a demo. Okay. So how is that? If I use our pen tool, okay, I could click. Okay, because the previous item I still has the fill and the stroke activated. That means if I select the pen tool or the curvature tool, it'll be presented using the same fill and the same stroke. Okay, so if I use the pen tool, I click. Okay, I'll click on a blank spot. Okay, I click first anchor point, second anchor point, third anchor point. You see this blue that popped up? That seems like a triangle. Okay, it'll try to fill the blank area. Okay, so I have the third area. Okay, it'll fill out up all the area within the anchor point, but I don't want to close it. Okay, if I don't want to close it, I push escape. Okay, I push escape, then to our selection tool, I'll have a corner that's not closed. Okay, and then I can manipulate it by using our direct selection tool to manipulate the item. Okay, so you have to worry about the what goes in front, what goes in back, and then the structure of the item. Okay, so it's a much complex project to work on. You have to spend a little time on it. So first you have to judge how many items would there be on this particular drawing, and then how many colors, and then how do you present the different items on the character. For example, the tongue and the mouth. How do I cut out the tongue and then leave everything out? Remember, we can use our shape builder tool or our pathfinder tool to manipulate or to cut out each extra shapes that we don't need. Okay. I know we don't have much time left, but I'll try to do as much as I can. Okay, and then this hand over here, maybe I want it to bring to front, and then this would be default would be white fill and black outline, and then maybe I want this to be 3 points. 3 points is probably right for the whole character. Okay, Okay, trust me, this character that you see now on my display, it's done by Illustrator. It's not done by hand drawn. It's probably a sketch is done by a pencil, a pen, maybe a tablet, but the rest, trust me, is done by a mouse and Illustrator. Okay, and the same thing. If you want to have the exact shape and the color, just use the eyedropper tool and then suck on the object you want. You see on the also on the stroke, it'll turn out to be to have the same point on the stroke if you use the eyedrop tool. So this part you probably want to just suck to press on it. Okay, I could there's one decision I can make. You see, I could either like make these two arms just like this one on top. I could just not close the gap on the item, or I could decide the body part. Okay, I could I could I could do, because the body part will be on top of these arm. Okay, let me do the body part first. Okay, so these arms I'll have to feel out. Actually, try to color it like afterwards. Okay, because you'll probably have like trouble viewing your item. So this I'll probably use this curvature tool to do the body. Okay, and then over here it's actually pretty simple. Okay. Okay, but okay, I probably want it over here. But the problem with curvature tool is that sometimes it's this is a situation that you rather use pen tool instead of curvature tool. Why is that? Because although curvature tool I could design an item that's not closed, but sometimes it's you have more control when you're using pen tool. Like you could, but what depends. By this part, you have to judge like if you want your body to be not closed or your arm to be not closed. But I think it's simpler if you like have the arms not closed. Will be simpler. So I think you'd rather use this one. You can keep things easy. Okay. So if I do that, okay. Now you can tell that the body. Okay, you see, you can get this line over here. You see this line over here. Okay. So this is probably a little bit difficult for you as for now, but you could try to make it out. I know we don't have like a lot of time when I'm explaining, so there's so much I could. There's only so much I could like explain when we're online, but I'll try to make my best to show what we can do. Okay, but if you have something, there's another tool. If you still want this arm over here, okay, there's something that we can do is to use this eraser tool. Okay, what this does is it can erase. Okay, so in order to have this arm not closed, okay, I want this line out, but I still want the whole shape. Okay, I can use the eraser tool. But the eraser tool, when I like, if I select the eraser tool, okay, and then if I try to erase the line, okay, what will happen? Okay, it'll actually go on on the side of your eraser. Okay, it actually erases the field. Okay, so you have to have like something else involved, which is the uh, the scissor tool. Okay, the scissor tool actually cuts the line. Okay, if I okay, I have to zoom in for you to tell. Okay, okay, we're running out of time. Okay, okay, if I have okay, so scissor tool selected. Okay, there's my mouse again. Okay, and then click on the anchor point. Okay, sometimes this will pop up. That means you didn't click on the point. Okay, you have to click on the particular point. Okay, if I click on the anchor point, okay, that means I cut the line. Okay, so if I use the direct selection tool, you can tell because the line is cut, but it's actually still in one piece. Okay, so if I zoom out, I have the tool. Okay, I have this selected, and then I use the eyedropper tool. I select the item on the left, so you can tell that it's a it's in one shape. Okay, so all these rest of these items you could just or these lines that you don't want, you could just go to your pen tool again, and then use this delete anchor point tool, and then delete all these anchor points. Because I use the eraser tool first, so it'll come up with like all these anchor points. So you have to judge when to use what tool. So that's scissors tools for you. Okay, you can like first have a shape that's maybe cut out, and then use the scissor tool to cut out the a particular anchor point, and then delete probably the line, so it'll be a full item but without a closed stroke line. Okay, so maybe it's a little too much for you, but try to uh, try to figure it out as you work your way around, and see how you're going to uh, work this thing out. And then there are of course like little bits and pieces of these blue area. I wouldn't worry about that. I would just make it simple. I would just probably you just use maybe a random rectangular tool to just blank this spot out, and then just eyedropper tool on the blue area, and for the stroke, I'll just click on the stroke and then just click none. So there's no stroke, but there's a piece of blue blue part, okay, which covers the area. So you have the blue, you have all the full blue body part, okay. So so we have that. Okay. Well, it's 2 after 4, so I guess that's it for today. And I'll upload this Doraemon character up on our classroom, and then you could try it as a assignment. And if you can't finish, it's okay. Try your best. Try your best to finish it, but not if not, uh, we'll we'll probably try to finish it on course next week. Okay, as we go along. Okay, but try your best to finish it if possible. Okay, because I know it's much more complicated than last week, and give it a shot. Okay, try your best. Okay, so I'll have this uploaded, as soon as I can, and so you can work on it. Okay. It's best that you could finish, but if not, as as much as you can, and then we'll work on it on course next week. Okay. But try to understand the characteristic of the character, the back and forth of each item, and then try to judge how many parts are included on the character, so you could like to create your own. Okay. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you next week. Okay.
Thank you, and thank you.
Okay. So if
Yes, yes.
Okay, so if you have any problem according to our regarding our content, you could like email me, or on our classroom you could like, I think there's a like you could send private message. Anyway, it's fine for me. Okay, I'll try to answer your question, or if possible, I'll demonstrate it right on our course, so so everybody could see. Okay. Okay, I'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thanks for the lesson.
Okay.